Hey guys, this is JT here on JT Plusology, and this is my story. So, the journey. When I was 14 years old, I started my journey, and that was to go from high school to college. I went to Blair Academy, which is a very prestigious prep school, and they are the #1 team in the country for wrestling. They were the #1 team in the country all 4 years that I was there, and also this past year. And going in there, I knew absolutely no one. I went to public school my entire life, and it was just a huge culture shock. And my freshman year, I played football, wrestling, and lacrosse. When I started wrestling, I was on the C team. We had our nationally ranked A team, our better than almost every single varsity team out there, B team, and then we had the C team, which was like JV, and I had 3 other guys ahead of me at the weight class 120 before I could even step on the mat and compete at that A team level. So, as you can imagine, I really was not that good at wrestling back then. I had a hard time getting kids to drill with me because they were at such a high level. They just didn't really see the value in training with me. And at the end of that year, I really worked hard at wrestling. I went to one of my old coach's clubs who used to be at Blair, and he would go by my house, pick me up after helping train some of the guys who were going out to the Junior Olympics and Cadet World teams and stuff, and pick me up, take me about 2 hours to his club in New Jersey, where I would then practice for 4 hours, do 3 consecutive sessions, private session with little kids, a little kid session, little kids as in lower weights, and then the last session for 2 hours from 7 to 9, and that was the high school kids. Now, when I did this, I was gone in the afternoon from around 3 o'clock until 12 o'clock at night. My dad would have to come back from work in New York to pick me up in New Jersey and then take us back to Pennsylvania. And that summer, I really saw a lot of improvement in my wrestling. And from that point on, I kind of decided that, all right, this sport is what's probably going to take me far in life, literally and figuratively. And through that sport, I really started getting a lot of looks at for college. So we flash forward to my senior year of high school. I was wrestling 182. I had a chance to be on the A team, and I lost in 2 overtime bouts to one of my friends. And it was really tough not to be on that team, but he was a better wrestler those times, and still love the guy to death. So, as I was going through the recruiting process with all these coaches, I had a hard time telling them that, hey, I'm a good wrestler, I just can't get on our starting team because everyone is nationally ranked. And most kids don't have that opportunity to be able to even say that, let alone have kids in front of them that are nationally ranked going to huge D1 Ivy League schools. So it was very, very hard for me to kind of promote myself as a student athlete to these colleges because I didn't really have any credentials. And long story short, I had one school that was really after me. I applied to there as well as 5 other schools, and around that magical time when colleges started coming out with decisions, I got rejected from every single one. Now, I was devastated during that time. I did not know what I was going to do. I had nowhere else to go. I didn't have any backup plans, and thankfully my parents helped me decide that I was going to take a postgraduate year. And that postgraduate year was going to be very beneficial to me because that gave me the opportunity to, instead of going to a community college, go to a bigger school. And I was blessed to be able to have that opportunity. However, that was at a different school. And that school was Wyoming Seminary. And if you know the history of high school wrestling, Blair Academy and Wyoming Seminary aren't really, they hate each other. Long story short, they despise each other. We always go against them every single year, head to head, and they're always number 1 and 2. So we do a quick wardrobe change. Alright, I'm back with my Wyoming Seminary shirt. So now that I'm going to Wyoming Seminary, I was thinking to myself, hey, like, I really need to do well. I cannot screw up, because if I do, then I have no other options. Worked really, really hard, and I had the opportunity to start. Ended up winning the spot. I went to college opens because I was able to compete in them, already having a high school diploma. Did really well at those, and just trained so hard. Our coach was really, really adamant about getting up early in the morning and practicing. So I would get up at 5:30 in the morning. We would have breakfast club, and no, we were not getting some scrambled eggs and bacon and orange juice. We were getting up, throwing on sweats when it was 50, 40 degrees outside in the morning, still dark out, walking to the football field and going to run sprints, do conditioning, and carry people on our back until we couldn't move. And after some of those sessions, I was thinking, wow, how is Wyoming Seminary not the number 1 team in the country? Because they were training like they were. And when the year progressed and everything, I found a really good training partner, my boy Mansur, and we went hard. We were probably the 2 nicest kids. If you ever talked to us and everything, like, we both wouldn't hurt a fly. But like, when we wrestled, all that went out the window. We would go so hard, like, you would think we hated each other. We were picking each other up, throwing each other on the mat, like, just going so hard, non-stop. Just every single second was everything you had, to the point where if you gave up, then someone scored a point. And it was whoever broke would get the points taken from them. So just wrestling like that, and having a partner like him, my boy Mansur, if you're watching this, thank you. I'm really, really glad to have you as a training partner this year. Just having that mentality to keep going until the other person breaks, or to just keep going and going and going until you see what you want, and just getting to that success point really just flipped a switch inside me. And that really changed both the way how I look at wrestling, but also how I look at life. And fast forward through the year, I ended up getting recruited by Michigan and wrestling for them, or going to wrestle for them. And now let me do a quick wardrobe change and tell you a little bit about that story. Hey, just kidding. I actually thought that I was going to go to this school going into Wyoming Seminary. I got all the test scores I needed, I was wrestling well, and things just didn't really go through. So again, I was at a loss. I had no idea what I was going to do. But then again, if you just keep trying and trying until someone breaks or you get that result, things are going to work out for you. And that is where this school comes in. This was a very late game recruit. I was doing really well in the college opens. They were following me. Didn't have any high school credentials really, and they gave me a chance. And when someone gives you a chance, you better not screw that up. And took the opportunity of it, started doing really, really well, and committed. Now, this was the happiest moment in my life. I'm never going to forget that day, because all the blood, the sweat, the tears, the lack of sleep, the lost relationships that I went through, just having to choose training over going out and do something else, or just really not acting like a teenager for a very long time. And it became all worth it. Everything. I would do anything to have been able to be able to get to this point again. And I truly believe that. I'm just so lucky to have had that opportunity. And now, as I have 6 months before college, and I'm going to be wrestling, also taking classes, obviously, hopefully doing really well on those too. I just want to keep these last couple thoughts in mind. If you're ever ready to doubt yourself, or you're ever thinking, hey, I'm not cut out for this, always remember to keep going. Don't ever quit. Because on that journey, when you're going through life, and just more walls keep going up in front of you that you just have to climb over or even just burst through, that end goal will taste so sweet, and all the pain, the suffering, everything that you went through during that time will all be worth it. Because at that end, it doesn't matter what you had to do or how long it took you to get there. What matters is that you're there. And that's not something that most people can say. Most people can't say, yeah, I went to hell and back to achieve this goal. And I think that's really what sets aside people who are successful and the people that fail. So, hope you like my story. Let me know if you guys have any other questions or comments down below. Definitely keep me posted on what you guys want to see. I hope to see you next time.